Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the FV3805. It's the Tier 9 British SPG. It's located on the eastbourne of Studzianki and it's under the command of TanqAndTonic. Now this is the Arty that's based on the hull of the Centurion tank, a rather popular and successful British medium, or universal tank you might say. And well, they discussed actually making an Arty based on that hull, and they did produce 2 prototypes, but they never got into production, and so the prototypes were the only ones that existed, and they were never fitted with guns. They only had the actual hull, and they were used on the test ranges. Now there's 3 guns you can actually have on this Arty. The base one is the 5.5 inch, which is 139.7 millimeters, well 140 in total I suppose you might say. The second gun, the 6 inch, is 152.4 millimeters. Now he actually viewed to one side the moment he fired that. Not sure why he did that, but the target was struck, and a moment afterwards the Wizzy 132A was killed. I think he's got this problem that a lot of us, or a lot of people tend to have, which they look away after they shoot. I've noticed a few people have it. Now we're getting a request to fire at that T110E4, but TanqAndTonic's aiming up at the hill, and it looks like he's now going to go for that E50. Now he needs to lead the target just a little. Changed his mind, go for units. Round out. Ah, that's better. Direct hit, and we did see that one go in. Now the guns. The middle gun is a 6 inch gun, and that's got a fairly decent fire rate as well as good characteristics in terms of damage. 700 hit points alpha, and the caliber is 152.4 millimeters, so it's very similar to the 155 millimeter guns. And he got some damage there on the E50. And oh, now that was an artillery round landing nearby, so it looks like the enemy Arty is trying to counter battery him. The top gun is the 7.2 inch, and that's 182.9 millimeters, or basically 183 millimeters. The same size gun as you have in the FV3805 and the Death Star. That's out. Well, he did get some damage on the UDES, and he's repositioning just in case that Arty is looking for him. If he is still looking for him, the shell might explode nearby, but not on top of him. And his teammates are firing at the same target, so he's picking up some stun assists. In fact, he's got nearly 2k of stun assists already, so he's doing quite well, and 1,000 hit points of damage. Now the naval gun version, the 6 inch gun, wants to be a naval gun from a warship, a 6 inch warship, a 6 inch armed warship like HMS Cumberland and the County Casts, I believe. They had 6 inch guns. The 7.2 inch gun, well, that was proposed on paper like the 6 inch one, but it never got put into practice. The 7.2 inch gun is actually a First World War gun, and he's just killed the Batchat. The Batchat 155-55, his counterpart on the other side of the battlefield, just got wiped out. He saw the tracer while he was in battle assistant, and it's quite interesting that he got it with one shot. Now, there are 2 more enemy Arty out there, an FV3805 and an M53M55. He's now aiming for the Gorilla 15 because this is a tier 10 game. Unfortunately, that one didn't hit the target, but he did move to avoid counter battery. Now going for the Yag Tiger. It would have been nice if he got that Gorilla 15 direct hit, because being an open Waffenträger, they are very susceptible to HE rounds, and you can not only kill the crew, but you can wipe out the vehicle and possibly penetrate it because it's very thin armor. Okay, line it up, see if you can get that gorilla. Oh, he did! He splashed him for 207, and then he got a huge amount of damage assist directly afterwards, because I think we've got some pretty good tanks in the neighborhood. Yeah, I think the gorilla took a hit from the Waffenträger that's down there, or somebody. Well, the enemies come east from the wood, and we're now tracking the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV up near the north. He's lining up the shot. The guy stopped for a moment behind the wood, grabs out. Oh, excellent shot! 332, looked like it was a direct hit, and he's picked up a load of stun assist on top of that one as well. You can see on the back of his vehicle that he's actually got the achievement to mark for 2 ace tankers already on this vehicle. I think he's trying for his third right now. It looks like he's on the way to getting it. He's already got nearly 2k's worth of damage and 4k's worth of stun assists, so well on the way to getting an ace. Fires around at the gorilla and stuns the bunch, but doesn't get any damage. I thought that one was going to take out the gorilla because he's very low on hit points. Excellent game so far. We're 2 up on the enemy. They've just lost their gorilla, now with 3 up. And that Yuda's coming in. He's very low on hit points. I think that was the one that was up north in the wood, and he's decided to come down south because it's probably a little less hot. But I think he's about to get struck by an Arty round. Well, we didn't see it, but... Oh, now we've got a bit of a problem. That AMX-30B, yeah, thought that was going to happen. The E3... It's got that deadly 155mm gun, if you've got the top gun. Now, can he get a shell in before he gets the other side of the dip? And no, he can't, because he's lost sight of him. The enemy is still losing players. Still 3 difference at the moment. We've got a Waffenträger down there, and he's watching that T110E3 come on, and that guy's got heavy armor. So he fires into the gap, and I think he splashed the E3, but there was no damage from it, just stun, and I'm afraid the Waffenträger's about to die. Yeah, that Yuda's crept up behind him, and the Yuda's dies, and now we're only 2 tanks up on the enemy, but there's only 4 of them left. 2 Artys, 2 tank destroyers, and both of the tank destroyers are E3s. One's in the north, one's in the south, and he's the closest to the enemy, or rather, the Arty's the closest to the enemy, so he now feels a strong desire to actually move north, and in fact actually should warn all his teammates to do the same. At this point I normally get on the messages and send to them to retreat and withdraw from this position and move north. In fact, both the Artys that were in the south are moving north. It's just the M53, M55 who stayed behind to take a final shot. I had the feeling that he's trying to get into a position where he can fire back at that T110E3. The one up here has already been killed, so they can quite happily move this side of the railway line. In fact, I'd be heading over to the wood by now. Yep, it looks like that's what TanqAndTonic is going to do. They just need to find out where the E3 is, and we've been joined by the M53, M55, who is the furthest south. I think he's decided to preserve his life, seeing as there's nobody down there to defend him. Now, what happened there? It looks like the enemy Arty, or one of the enemy Arty, no, one of the enemy tank destroyers. Was that the Wizzy 113 GFT? I don't understand that, because it looked like one of the enemy that's dead, or one of the enemies that's one of our teammates killed one of our own Arty. There was only, I think it was only one Arty left on our team, or was it one of the enemy Arty? I'll have to look at that one later. But it looks like our Wizzy113GFT did manage to get a kill. And I think it may have been the enemy 3805. Okay, the T123 has been spotted. He's standing in the south. And although it's not a perfect position to get shots, and we just lost our 268, it says the enemy M53, M55 got him. Yeah, that building he's hiding behind is very, very difficult to get a shot on him. There he is. He's on the move. I think the M53, M55 must be further south. They'll try and line up a shot on him. Rounds out. Nice. It looked like it splashed him. The Wizzy113GFT's just driving straight in. Doesn't care. And his teammates are coming in and... Yep, they got a fire on him there. And there's the M53, M55. He's actually hiding in cover. Right next door to the buildings. Not where I expect him to be. And they've killed the E3. Now they just need to kill this M53. Rounds out. TanqAndTonic might get him. Oh, stunned him. It went long and to the right, so he didn't get the kill, but the Wizzy113GFT did, and the game is over. And here's the end of battle results, and it was another race tanker for TanqAndTonic in the FV3805. Very well done. Yes, he seems to be collecting quite a few of them, so maybe he's well on the way to getting his third mark. He did manage to get a Bruiser medal on that one for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 13. And he got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by others. And he did get a kill in the game as well. You saw that, the counter battery on the batch at 155.55. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That went to the E3. 3,838 hit points of damage to him, followed by the other E3 getting 3,643. And they weren't in platoons, so obviously they were just good E3 drivers. The next highest damage after that was the Wizzy111 Quillin, who got 2,974. That thing always looks like a Tibetan rug to me when it's in action. Anyway, you can see that TanqAndTonic managed to get 2,784, so he wasn't that far away from the third place. And when it came to kills, it was the Wizzy113GFT, got 4 kills. 3 kills went to the Object 268, and then 2 kills went to the M53, M55, and the FV3805 on the enemy team. Now, they did try to counter battery, but I suspect that it was the batch at 155.55 that was doing it, because after he was taken out by TanqAndTonic, there was no further counter battery seen. So I'm pretty sure it was that batch at 155.55 that was doing the necessary, and that was Steel Chick. So I have a feeling that that's a lady, and she was good at counter battery. She was working out where everyone is, and she was probably looking at the back line, the back row behind the trees, trying to see where there might be an enemy Arty. When it came to base XP, it's TanqAndTonic, because he did so much stun assist in this one. 1,289, not for an ace tanker. 903 went to the Object 268, and 851 went to the Wizzy113GFT. He fired 15 rounds in that game, 4 direct hits, 1 penetration, 15 splash. Damage of 2,784 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 1, and did 4,771 hit points of stun assist, or 14 stuns, and I think that's what earned him the ace tanker. It's such a large amount of stun assist. He earned 51,285 credits on a premium count, and after ammunition resupply took away 49,478 credits profit. He earned 1,289 XP, times 4 for the first victory, 1,934 from personal reserves, and took away 9,670 experience points altogether. So a very profitable game there for TanqAndTonic in the FV3805. We don't see an awful lot of replays for this Arty, even though it's actually quite a fun Arty to play. It's a bit big, it's a little difficult to hide. It's got a relatively low damage considering the calibers of the guns, but it does put out accurate shots on the enemy, and so it is worth playing because it also has a fairly wide arc, 50-degree arc. It's not as big as the M44 or the M53, M55, but it's still big enough to actually get good shots on the enemy and quickly change targets to fire at someone else. And of course the fast reload does really make a difference as well on top of all that. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.